the trees were so tall and crowns so thick that he could imagine he was in a forest somewhere on Earth. But the thing Justin best loved to do was swim. He could forget where he was, forget all his problems as well as everyone else's. Arm over arm, head back, Justin would sometimes think that if there were a heaven, it had to be an endless ocean he could spend eternity swimming in. But as usual, heaven would have to wait. Justin could make out the all-too-familiar hum of a hover disk approaching in the distance. It was a sound that elicited an almost Pavlovian response. The president sighed, continued his poor backstroke, and waited patiently to open his eyes until the craft was practically on top of him. It had gotten to the point that he no longer bothered to swim back to shore. He knew something would always happen that would necessitate a disk being sent out to get him. One day, he decided, there would be no emergency at all, no crisis, no feathers to be unruffled, and on that day he would probably drown. But that day was not today. After another 100 yards of backstroking to put off the inevitable, he gave up, stopped, and opened his eyes. Ahmad was smiling down on him. "You know, I wouldn't have come out if—" Yeah. Let me guess," said Justin. "They found a monolith floating around Jupiter. Alien contact, perhaps. No? Maybe Mars revolted and joined the Outer Alliance." "No monoliths," answered Ahmad. "Not for lack of looking, mind you, but none yet. And any alien smart enough to get into this neck of the galaxy would probably be smart enough to get out. And if Mars decided to join us," Ahmad said, looking out into the distance, "it wouldn't make sense to call us the Outer Alliance then, would it?" He then looked back down to Justin. "We would just be the Alliance, don't you think? Mars is a core world, after all." "Not in my day." "You're a really old fart, Justin. Nothing is from your day." Justin laughed. "Okay, Ahmad," said the president, noticing his friend's pained expression. "What is it this time?" "It's Eris, friend. Everyone's waiting back at Cliff House." Justin was suddenly tired in a way that had nothing to do with the miles he'd just logged in swimming. Crap. Ahmad nodded sympathetically and then extended his hand, first making sure to get a good grip on the strap in the center of the disk. The machine tilted slightly as Justin got on, but no more than 3 or 4 degrees. Ahmad tossed his friend a towel and without another word sped off toward the shore, where the world Justin had only recently created sat waiting. Okay, listeners, this is the Clara Roberts Show coming to you live from Ceres for the first day of the Provisional Congress. By mutual agreement, no press or recording devices are allowed into the actual hall, but the delegates are always coming and going. Why, here's Tyler Sodma of the Eris colony about to enter the hall. Let me see if I can just ask him to talk to us. Mr. Sodma? Mr. Sodma! A few words for the... Mr. Sodma! No comment. I am sorry, loyal listeners, but he pushed right past me. Seems his reputation is well-deserved. Wait a minute. Here comes Karen Cho of the Oberon colony. Miss Cho! Hello, Clara. Love your show. We listen to it on Saturn all the time. Thanks for the plug. Well, sure. You guys always have a good slant about news from the corporate core. Lots of facts without all the Terran propaganda. We try to keep the truth broadcasting for all to hear. You could help my listeners by telling me what's going on behind the closed doors of power. Clara, before we could have that power, we'd all have to agree. Agree on what? Anything. I'm not sure we can even order lunch as a Congress without calling a committee of the whole, and by the time we do agree, it would be time for breakfast. And I thought my job was tough. Miss Cho, got time for another question? Sure. Any chance the first free will show up on opening day? He says he doesn't want to interfere with the formation of the legislative branch until we're all settled in and invite him. And surely, Miss Roberts, you know the provisional president does not encourage the use of that nickname. It's what all my listeners call him.